150th meeting of our club. So I hope we will continue having more and more such meetings and achieve better milestones. Thank you very much. If you may have noticed, I gave him a bouquet of flowers, but they were not real flowers. They were plastic ones, fake ones. Who would present somebody fake flowers? Think about this. A couple of years ago, when I was still young, chronologically young for that matter, I kind of presented a set of flowers to a young lady. And that was the last time I heard it. Plastic flowers. So you can imagine the kind of havoc any kind of relationship would suffer when you are giving these kind of flowers. But still I would say, you should be giving these flowers, the plastic fake varieties, whenever you meet somebody. And there's a reason for it. So why is it that as human beings, we don't like these kind of flowers? Instead, these varieties, the real ones, that's what we like. Any reason why? If you need to know about this, we have to go back in history. A long time in history. Precisely 600,000 years. That's when human beings used to live in caves. And it so happens that human beings used to live in societies of about 50 to 100. And the men in those days used to go out for hunting and gathering food. The women folks used to remain at home. And what happens is when this hunting parties goes out, they go and kill large animals like buffaloes or elephants and all that, and they carry back those animals on their shoulders. But some of the young men, what they did was, they used to kill smaller animals like a rabbit or squirrel or maybe a jungle fowl and all that, and they used to get it for their wife and children. And the wife and children obviously allowed it, and they used to cook it over a fire and have it. But eventually so happened that everyone in the hunting party did the same thing. So there was no one to carry back these big animals home. So the chief, what he decided was, enough is enough, we need to find a superior place. What he told, he convened a meeting, and what he told everyone is, you're not supposed to kill animals, smaller animals, and take it back home. What you have to do is, pluck some of these flowers, the real flowers, and take it back. And on that particular day, what happened was, everyone had a bunch of these flowers, and they took it home. You know what is special about that day? It was February 14th, and that's how Valentine's Day comes about. So you can think about it. Why we love these kind of flowers, the real flowers. And actually, if I look at it, 600,000 years ago, that's what this kind of flowers, the real flowers, have. And the fake ones, the artificial ones, maybe 60 years. That's when this plastic industry actually came about. And these flowers, maybe it has a life of about 60. These ones, 600,000 years. So these flowers don't get a chance. And probably that's the reason why I can attribute my failure to 600,000 years of human history. Now coming back, let me explain why we should be giving these flowers, that's the plastic fake varieties, instead of this. The first and foremost being environmental reasons. Think about these flowers. How much toll it takes on the environment if you have to present one of these real flowers. Now these flowers are grown in glass houses or in greenhouses. They are very capital intensive. Lots of fertilizers, lots of pesticides go into growing these. And you know what, once you cut these flowers, it lasts about maybe 6 to 7 days. And it has to be refrigerated. So when these kind of flowers are transported, they have to be transported in refrigerated trucks and they have to be airlifted. How about these? They don't have a shelf life as such. You can stay on forever. they can be transported anyhow. And you know what, these kind of flowers, you can just crumble this and take it out. You know what would happen if you crumble these real flowers? You know what will happen. So, that's reason number one. Because of environmental reason, we should be using these flowers. Point number two, what happens after 6 or 7 days to these flowers? Just dump it away. And it goes to a landfill, right? How about these? This would last for about 1,000,000 years, because plastics last for 1,000,000 years. You know what's the other thing which lasts 1,000,000 years? Diamonds. Diamonds are forever. So, if you don't have diamonds, or you gentlemen, if you like, instead of diamonds, you put this. This is the next best thing to diamonds. And there's one more advantage for these fake varieties or artificial ones. You could always re-gift it. In fact, these flowers, it was lying around in my mother-in-law's house. I said, "Can I take this?" She said, "Okay, take it. I don't need it anymore." So, you know the advantages of these plastic flowers. So, ladies and gentlemen, next time you have any of your celebrations, maybe Mother's Day, Father's Day, Neighbor's Day, Sister's Day, you can try one of these. Present it to your loved ones. And next time you come onto the stage, please share your experience as a speech. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Master Rajesh. Let's take 30 seconds. Does everyone have this evaluation sheet? So the request is write down whatever you feel as comments in the first speech section. There is a small piece of paper over there on top. You can write down your feedback for speaker number 1. So Toastmaster Rajesh actually mentioned that it's harmful for the environment to grow the colorful flowers. However, I will say that when it comes to food, it's really nice to have colorful foods. That's a source of good health. For example, tomatoes. Tomatoes have something called lycopene. It's a chemical which is a natural SPF, if you will. Do we know which is the biggest organ? What is the biggest organ? Skin is the biggest organ. It's about 6% to 10% of your entire body. And it is the most susceptible and most obvious thing to gauge the age by. Both biological as well as, mostly biological, not physiological. Some people look old even though they are not. And some people look very young even though they are not. And all of this is judged through the skin. One of the ways to actually help your skin is eat a lot of tomatoes, especially in summertime, because lycopene helps to fight UV rays that is reflected by the sun. On that note, let me introduce the next speaker. The objectives are the same as the previous speech. So this is also a CC8 speech. Our next speaker is an IT transformation manager in TCS, devotional and spiritual by nature, believes in practicing before preaching. His inspiration is from the poem from Robert Frost, which is miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. Please help me in welcoming Toastmaster Shakir for his CC8 speech. His title The title of his speech is Helmet. That's it.
It was third year in the engineering college in Indore. One fine July evening, I was driving the bike, happily returning after meeting sponsor for the college annual function. My friend was seated at back, and I was comfortably driving at the speed of 50-55 km/h. Suddenly, bang! Mini truck came in front of us. It was head-on collision. I went completely dark. I woke up 2 days later in the hospital with bandages all over my head, surrounded by parent, friend, doctor. I was told my head hit the road hard, and brain surgery was performed to cure life-threatening blood clot in the head. I still carry that scar on my head. I was lucky. I survived severe head injury. What possibly could have avoided head injury? Yes. Helmet. Simple but a lifesaver device. Now, at times, it may look ugly fitting on your head, or you may feel suffocating in the long drive. But trust me, you don't want to learn the benefit of the helmet after going through something dreadful like mine. After that accident, I pledged to wear helmet always. Season, distance does not matter now. So in an accident where the hand and the leg fracture happens, it gets probably fixed in 3 to 4 weeks. But in case of the head injury, it takes several months. I was out of college for more than 3 months. My 5th semester studies impacted badly. Attendance falls short for the exam. However, the college was kind enough to allow me for the exam, which I managed somehow. Now, accidents do not happen just because of your own mistake. It also happens because of others' negligence. So sometimes you cannot avoid accident, but you can lessen the impact by wearing the helmet or seat belt in case of car. So by all means, helmet is a lifesaver device for all the two-wheeler riders. Now, the helmet comes in many shapes, size, color. Choose what best suits you. Because purpose of the helmet is to save your head from injury, not to impress others. At least that's what I think. Going by statistics, more than 100,000 people die in road accident in India every year. And Pune has got the dubious distinction of 3rd place in the accidental death rate. What a shame. Pune has grown by leaps and bounds. Traffic congestion has increased many folds. Still, helmet rule is not mandatory. Cantonment board, which operates in the Khadki and the camp area, tried to enforce the helmet rule last year, but that initiative failed miserably due to lack of political support. Now, in India, there are cities like Kolkata. Helmet is even mandatory for the pillion rider. So why can't Pune, or in general Maharashtra state, bring in the policy for the mandatory helmet use? I would go further and appeal, why can't Government of India bring in national helmet law, which no state can override? But I must admit, the Pune Traffic Department has done some good job in terms of creating and safe driving awareness. Recently they have launched smartphone app, which covers all these aspects. I'm sure many of you are probably aware of it. And I also like that some of the slogans which are catchy, some of my favorites. Drive like hell and you will be there. Don't give. Casual driving is casualty. Don't give safety a day off. Speed thrills, but it kills. And finally, better be few minutes late than being called Mr. Late. Now you must be wondering what happened to the friend who was with me on that fateful day. He had a few leg injury, but fortunately he was up on his feet in few weeks. I had another accident. This time it was in Pune. No, I am not a bad driver at all. This was another case of somebody crossing the lane unnecessarily. This time I was wearing the helmet. I escaped with few injuries, but the broken helmet glass instead of my broken helmet. So point is, you cannot control the road conditions, bad driver, signal not working, but what you can control is your drive, your speed on the road using the safety gears. 3 mantras that I follow, and probably I urge you to follow as well. Drive within the permissible speed limit, wear helmet or seat belt, whether no mandates or not. And lastly, avoid road rage. End of the day, remember somebody at the home waiting for you. So better you reach there without the road. Over to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Let's take 30 seconds, give our feedback to the speaker. Has anyone heard of the French paradox? The French paradox. The French paradox is the people of France are the biggest consumers of fats. So they have a lot of cheese and butter and things like greasy items in their food. And yet, when you compare them in the list of people who have most heart issues, the country does not even feature in the top 10. And we all know that how greasy things are associated directly to the heart. But yet, France is somehow able to overcome this problem. Does anyone know the reason, the mystery behind this issue? Genetics is one, yes. Someone else actually said the answer.
Wine.
Yes. It's the red wine. Not just any wine, it's the red wine that they consume with the food that helps them to digest the fat, as well as there's something called polyphenols in the red wine which helps to increase the blood flow and removes the blockages that these fats can bring in. Now that is why they are able to survive that. Before I go to the next one, let me request Toastmaster Uday, Toastmaster Usha, to read out the objectives of the CC10 speech.
Thank you, audience. Toastmaster Shivaditya is attempting Project 10 from the Basic Communications Manual, which will inspire your audience. The objectives of Project 10 are to inspire the audience by appealing to noble motives and challenging the audience to achieve a higher level of belief or achievement. Appeal to the audience's needs and emotions using stories, anecdotes,
Toastmaster Shiva is a shooting enthusiast. He's an MBA student and who loves two things, Toastmasters and marketing. So please help me in welcoming Toastmaster Shiva for his milestone speech.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and most welcome guest. Imagine, we are not here in Toastmasters meeting. Instead, we are on a busy street. There I am a typical teenager, earphone in, hood up, just about to cross that busy street. You saw a heavy vehicle rushing towards me. How many of you would reach out, grab my hand, pull me, thus saving my life? All I hope. But why? Because life is precious and death is tragic. It was Benjamin Franklin who said, nothing is certain but death and taxes. Sorry, Mr. Franklin, we don't believe that. We think we are immortal. We'll try anything to stay young. We eat broccoli, we eat blueberries, dare I say, we use Botox. What are we doing? We are fooling ourselves. We can't cheat death. Am I right? But what if I tell you that we can make something good from our death? What if we can change lives of more than 15 people? How? Exactly. Organ donation is a gift of an organ to someone who desperately needs one. We can donate our heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, skin, eyes, blood, and many other organs. Every year, thousands of people are getting benefited this way. Because of you, the girl who is ashamed to come out of the door can have a skin graft. Because of you, bone cancer patient can avoid pain and trauma of amputation. Sarvendriyanam Nainam Pradhanam. Because of you, two little innocent kids can look at their mom for the first time and even at this beautiful world. If so, there should not be any shortage of donors, isn't it? In fact, in India, 0.0000008% of the population have signed up to donate their body organs after death. Every year, 5 lakh people are adding up to this list to die. Out of these, 3 lakh people are dying by waiting. How many of you know about Edmund Thomas Clint? Clint was born in Kerala. He was the only child of Joseph and Chinnamma. Joseph was a huge fan of Clint Eastwood, Hollywood movie actor. That's why he named his son Clint, Edmund Thomas Clint. Their family was financially struggling. However, they encouraged and they identified the genius in Clint's paintings. Shortly, Clint turned 3. His kidney was diagnosed. His right hand stopped working. While his mother massaging his right hand, he started drawing with the left hand, started drawing paintings with the left hand. He participated in several art competitions and won many awards and accolades. He was awarded as the best child artist by Universal Arts. This is one of the most prestigious of its kind in India. A month short of his 7th birthday, he slept in mother's lap and never woke up because of kidney failure. He left a legacy of more than 25,000 paintings and drawings by the time he turned 6 years. Government has organized many exhibitions on behalf of his name. But what is the use? This case is one among the many where organ donation could have helped you. We feel the urgency, but we are reluctant to turn our intentions into actions. However, let's imagine you are not a potential donor, even you are not a potential donor, but you are the one who needs heart transplant. You want to play with your little kid, this little rascal, but you couldn't. You are unable to play because you need to get your heart transplanted. What you would do if someone donates? Surely you would take, am I right? Well, if you take one, why don't you donate one when you no longer need it? That is what Sita did. Sita is my grandmother. She died at the age of 61. One day she was at show on organ donation, and she had made it crystal clear to all our family members that she wanted her organs donated. Today, because of her, 2 persons are looking at this beautiful world. Her legacy lives on. She believed that all her organs are merely lent to us. Today or tomorrow, we have to return it back. That's what she believed. If that is the case, why don't we have donors in India? I said only 0.08 persons per million population. We love all these heartwarming stories, and we pull back ourselves from signing up to donate our organs. The research says there are 3 main factors which stop us to sign up. First factor, fear. You're a doctor. We think doctors will kill our life when they came to know that we are potential donors. This is not the case. All doctors are bound by oath to save all life. Second factor, icky. We think that our body will be sliced, our organs are ripped out to donate to someone. It is not so. Our body will be treated with utmost respect. Third factor, religion. Religion is something what we created for our convenience. Even though major religions support organ donation, there are few religions which doesn't support. My dear friends, Vivekananda said, where you can go and find God if you cannot see Him in your own hearts and in the other fellow beings. I signed up to donate my body organs 4 years back. Why? Is the question that most asked me. I replied, because more than 5 lakh people are dying every year. Because 0.08 persons per million population have signed up to donate their body organs. Because this is the best way for me to be the best person, and I know how to be. Still why? Because organ donation is the right thing to do. Stand up. Donate today. It's very simple. Go to any authorized, open Google website, search organ donation India. You will get a list of websites where you can donate. The best one is, I wouldn't say best one, Mohan Foundation, where I donated my body organs after my death.
I've already pledged in Mohan Foundation.
Salute you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. Let's take 30 seconds to give. Toastmaster Shiva, can I request you back on stage for a minute? So it's a tradition in Toastmasters Club of Pune Southeast that we give a standing ovation to the milestone speeches to them.
During the next session, we will have speech evaluations. Now, speech evaluations typically in Toastmasters are done in a format called CRC, which is commendation, recommendation, and commendation. The idea behind giving this oral feedback is to encourage speaker, point out areas for his improvement, and encourage him so that he comes back again to the stage and deliver his next project. The evaluation time is 2 to 3 minutes. So the timing sequence would be green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. and you disqualify if you speak for more than 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The first speech by Rajesh Kalankodat is evaluated by someone who is one of the only Toastmasters who qualified for roadies from Pune. He works at Avaya. He originally hails from a place called Kiching in Orissa. He is a poet, he is a writer and multifaceted personality. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Satyabrata Tripathi.
Each flower had its own story, with its own fragrance. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be very careful while saying something with flowers. Brave persons are those who say it with the confidence and they get selected. But there are some people who gets rejected. But then the story does not end there. They start again with the plastic flowers and they made their choice. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster, area governors and division governors. And my target speaker, Rajesh. First of all, I congratulate you for coming here and completing your project number 8, which talks about visual ed and telling us the story of flowers, real and plastic. I also thank you for bringing 6,000 years back history to us, telling the story of Valentine's Day, and in the entire story, from the beginning to the end, your speech was revolved around the subject. That's the best part of your speech. Now coming to the beginning of your speech, when you started, before I start my speech, I would like to call Anand Pal. Now, you called Anand Pal and you gave him a flower. And I saw a smile rising in the Anand's face, but the moment you said the flower is plastic, still he was smiling. So, that's the beginning of the speech. But I would like to suggest one thing here. When you start your speech, don't say before I start my speech. You start your speech, call him, and make him a part of your speech. And while starting your speech, don't show your back. No. While moving to the speech, the next section, you talk about your personal anecdote along with the history. In that particular section, you had 2 flowers rolling from one hand to other. And I was totally confused and lost which one is plastic and which one is real. So, the important thing is, while showing the visual aids, it is not always important to hold it in the hand. You just told about one particular thing and just keep it there. You can refer it. Or else, what you can do is, you would have placed plastic flower somewhere else and the real somewhere else. So that when you talk with ease and confidence. And you are. And the closing part of your speech was the in-law who told you that take the flower away. But there I would suggest, if you could have incorporated something appealing towards the audience, that would have been better. But few more suggestions with the speech is, when speaking on the project number 8, you need to incorporate project number 2 to project number 7. I found all of the things were there, but then one particular thing that was missing is the vocal variety and the body language. So in the vocal variety, you have incorporated your mother-in-law's vocal variety, the way she talked. It could have created more humor, and the stage line could have been taken. With that said, I congratulate you, and I am waiting for your CV there.
When did you join Toastmasters?
March 2012.
I known him for last so many years, and his WhatsApp status remains the same. Battery about to die. number 8 by Toastmaster Shakir about helmets and safety will be evaluated by someone who is a Toastmaster since last 16 years. He is a PhD in business management, visiting faculty with Symbiosis International University. In fact, these two evaluators who will follow Satya now have started their journey from the Middle East to the Southeast. This particular gentleman, I can introduce him with 3 Ds. He is a doctor in business management. He is a distinguished Toastmaster, and he is a dedicated husband. However, his WhatsApp status, click check, says available. Please help me welcome distinguished Toastmasters to the session.
Fellow Toastmasters and Shakir in particular, I have a soft voice, so I don't know whether I'll be heard till the last row. Can you hear me? In Toastmasters, when you give a project speech, you got to remember 5 things. The first one is the topic selection. Topic selection is very important. Shakir, you chose a very good topic. Something which is very close to everybody's heart. Something which is important to this region. It's easy to choose some topics which are very relevant, like climate changes in Ecuador, or the income of XYZ state somewhere in Africa. People will listen to you, but not with rapt attention. So choosing a topic is very important, and Shakir, you chose a very good topic. Preparation. You had a great preparation. There were 2 notes in the hand. Good voice modulation, good hand gestures, and good pause as well. So preparation was good. Now, third thing we come to is the content of your speech. Now, as far as the content of the speech is concerned, you use prop. For this particular project, one can use 4 or 5 types of prop. Overhead projector you can use, or you can use flip charts, whiteboards you can use, or props. So the way Rajesh had used the bouquet as prop, Shakir used helmet as prop. And it was something which was visible and everybody could see it. And he said about the statistical information also about that. For example, shape, size, colors. Now, the delivery part of it. Very good delivery, Shakir. The opening was good. It started with an accident. So, people who were not attentive, something happened to you, so it got the attention of people. Then, started saying about why helmet is important. Because you are going to say the problem, provide a solution, and then also end it with a nice conclusion. So, the importance of helmet, you said very nicely. And also why, it raised the question as to why it's not being enforced in a city like Calcutta, why it's not being enforced. And at least 4 to 5 times, you lifted that actual helmet and showed to me. So that was something which was very good. In a speech, when you speak to people, they listen to you, but at the same time, if there is a prop, it adds value to your speech. And the topic becomes more effective. Listeners understand it better. So that was very well done. Now, about the smartphone application, you said, I like it. The good slogans also, I like it. Now, as far as areas of improvement, I would say how the speech could have done better. Because any good speech has certainly some areas of improvement. I thought perhaps some more data regarding how the helmet is made, like how it's sturdy and why it's so sturdy, and some more examples could have added more strength to your speech. All in all, very well done, and I like it.
Add to that, the next speech by Toastmaster Sivaditya Gali about organ donation will be evaluated by someone who joined Toastmasters in 2003. She finished her DTM, that is Distinguished Toastmaster, in 2009. She served as an area governor in the Middle East. And to introduce her, I don't have 3 Ds, I have 4 Ds. First is Distinguished Toastmaster. The 2 Ds are for the beautiful 2 daughters they have. And the last D is for the dosa meal for which I have been waiting for more than a year. Please help me welcome Usha.
I think even before I start my evaluation, I just need to say something. Ever since I know Manish, he's been, after my blood, I should say, to adopt him, okay? So I need a consensus, whether should I adopt him as a son? Only for the dosa.
Manish has to stand in queue.
He can adopt us. Wow, Society for Adopted Children. Thank you. General Evaluator, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, Division Governor, Area Governors, and I think Toastmasters from the other clubs. Welcome to our 150th meeting. And my target speaker, I wouldn't call him target speaker, it looks as though I'm waving a gun at his head. My speaker of the day, Toastmaster Shivaditya. Where is he hiding? I thought he went to donate his organ. First of all, I'd like to give you a huge round of applause myself for this choice of your topic selection. It is said that the second most feared after death is public speaking. And now that I have gotten over that fear of mine, I think my third most fear is donating your organ. It's a fear that most of us have. And all that you said put my mind to rest, and definitely I'm going to follow your idea or your effort to convince me, okay? Now first of all, I'd like to, because it's a milestone speech, it's a P10, we usually recommend speakers to use all that you've learned from your P2 to P9. Every single objective of all these speeches you need to incorporate in your P10 to make it a very successful speech. So first of all, you organized your speech very well. You had great research you did on your topic by the 0.000000. I thought you would just go on with your zeros. Okay, I like that way you used it. I also like the fact that you just introduced stories. But there you could have worked on it, because what was lacking in your speech was voice modulation. It's very important that when you said about your grandmother, there should have been that sort of sorrow in your mind, in your heart, which told you that, now slow down your voice. You're not talking something very happy, something which was very pleasant to hear. It was a very sad thing. But the way you say it matters a lot. Third thing which I found could have been worked on was the use of your stage space. You have such a huge space, you have audiences on both sides. How do you cover all your audience? You stand here, you look at this side of the audience. Make your point. Let people absorb what you have to say. And then slowly, without showing your back to this side of the audience, you come here and then you look at this side of the audience. That's how you make your speech more effective. Alright? Fourth, at P10, I think usage of notes is a waste. This is your story, this is what you have done, this is what you are going to do. I don't think you need notes to convince us for that. Finally, with such a great topic, such great stories, I wish you had taken out that card at the end and said, I have pledged to donate. How many of you are with me? Voice, you should have raised it there. That would have made me more convincing. Over to you.
Now let us have Timer's report for the speech evaluator.
First evaluator was Toastmaster Satya, who evaluated Toastmaster Rajesh, and he took 3 minutes 10 seconds, and he is qualified. Second evaluator was Toastmaster Uday sir, who evaluated Toastmaster Sakir, and sir took 3 minutes 15 seconds. Third evaluator was Toastmaster Usha ma'am, who evaluated Toastmaster Shiva, and madam took 3 minutes 15 seconds. So all the three evaluators have been qualified, and you can vote for the best evaluator.
Goes to the executive committee and the Toastmaster of the day. We'll start rolling 2 weeks in advance. This meeting was decided way back, I think 15 days back, and then there were emails exchanged and a lot of planning was done. The agenda which you couldn't see in detail, but a lot of planning goes in preparing for the meeting and assigning role players. The ambience, of course, is good. This hall is quite good, airy and nice. Energy level throughout the meeting was maintained. The role players, starting with the Sergeant at Arms Manish Chandak, he kicked off the meeting with telling us ground rules, and he added a lot of quotations and also he made it interesting. Had a round of introduction of only the guests, so we saved a lot of time in that. We started a bit late, but I'll come to that later. President Anandpal's address was short, sweet, and he told us about the background of the club. So did Area Governor Leo, who spoke in place of Division Governor actually. She was late. Our late Division Governor is here. Give a round of applause. Toastmaster of the day deserves a special round of applause because he did a great job. You know, I've seen very few people who take this job very seriously in terms of the theme. He had so much of stuff to talk about the theme, and he had quotations and anecdotes. It actually engages the audience. Any job of any speaker who comes here is to engage with the audience, so they don't play with their blackberries and apples and other fruits which we carry in our pocket. The theme, you selected the theme? Theme was also good because staying young. We are 150 meeting old, but we are still young and growing. Tamer Imtiaz was very diligent and he was observing the time and showed the cards appropriately. One suggestion is you keep the card holding a little bit higher so that even the evaluator can have a look at it. Yeah. Our counter Renuka's report was in detail, and she not only counted hours but also the filler words. Listener actually took the job very seriously and she prepared a very tough questionnaire, but I think it added a lot of fun. There are many chocolates remaining which I think you will give it to me. Right? Grammarian Aniket Rai also gave a very simple word of the day, utopia. So we need to live in utopia sometime, right? But if there is utopia, the ideal place, he won't be the citizen there. Table topic master Samit Das did a good job by giving very interesting and easy to understand topic, and he involved a lot of audience participation in terms of volunteering, so he did not force anyone to come here and speak. And he gave an equal opportunity to guests and Toastmasters. One suggestion, Samit, is when we announce the topic, instead of looking at the speaker, we look at the audience so everyone can hear it. Because at the back, we were finding it very hard to know the topic. Now coming to speech evaluators. All the three evaluators followed the CRC format, what I told you. They encouraged the speakers, gave a good feedback. One minor observation is, instead of repeating the content of the speech and telling audience about the same thing again, just tell about what needs to be improved and what was good, instead of repeating the whole speech again. The areas for improvement, I think, I believe that printed agenda should be given irrespective of number of audience, because it gives you audience the flavor of how meeting the plan second by second, minute by minute, and they have something to take back. There are many corporates here, many students. It's a great learning actually, because in corporate life, our meetings are not so well planned. They extend. Today's meeting is also extended, but it gives a good flavor of how a meeting is planned. Because showing up agenda there was not visible, it was very small print. And this idea is extremely good. However, it actually was a kind of a distraction rather than attraction. While the meeting was going on, we could switch it off, and then during the break, and now you could run all the letters. It was a brilliant idea of Samit to get letters from all the past presidents, and he circulated it, printed it. That's why we came late actually, but he did a good job. Give a round of applause to him. Please avoid using short forms such as CC or P1, P2, because for a newcomer it's all Greek. For youngsters, CC means Candy Crush. In the agenda, of course you don't have the agendas with you. In the agenda, what I feel is, since Toastmasters of the day has a lot of stuff to talk about between the gaps and between the speeches, it should be added in the time, so that extra 1 minute or 1 minute 30 seconds, because we started late 2:39, I mean by 9 minutes late, but since you had a lot of stuff to talk about, we are now at least 20 over minutes late. And our break also was slightly elongated, but that was because of the large audience and drinks, soft drinks, no hard drinks today. But for that, Leo has promised me something. Thank you, Leo. The photographer, he is doing a good job, Siva. However, when the speaker is here, avoid coming in the L area here, because that actually obstructs the view of audience. So this side is okay, but in this area, if you move around, it is an obstruction to the speaker as well as the audience. And please upload the photos before 12. These photos will be uploaded on Facebook. Please tag yourself and your friends, because that spreads the word. I am so happy that some people have come through reference from Facebook posts. So, and Sivanitya also does a lot of PR work. He does a good job actually. He is socially very active on the social media. Very active. Finally, I think it was a wonderful meeting which I really enjoyed being a part of. Congratulations to Team Southeast, and I look forward to the 200 meeting celebration.
If this was an utopian meeting, I'd wait for the thumbs to be up. If this was an utopian meeting, I would have covered everything that I've listed down, like the free radicals, or the genetic lottery, or a clinic in Moscow which charges you 21,000 pounds to turn back the clock. So it will actually make you younger. And also a lot of things. But in essence, what I was trying to get at is, everything is in the mind. So if the mind thinks that you can have a better, youthful, younger life, you can actually achieve it. And the way to go about it is to set simple, small goals. Every year, simply have that and take your age. Go say that I'm very young. I want to do what a 20-year-old is doing, or a 15-year-old is doing. If it's about hiking a mountain, do it. So on and so forth. So I'll not prolong this conversation yet. If anybody wants more information about this, I always am at your disposal. With that note, I would also like to give the stage now to the President, Toastmaster Anupam.
Good evening all. A very good evening to the Division Governor Toastmaster Veena Mandrekar and the Area Governor Toastmaster Rio Paulo and Toastmaster Samitra. We have come towards the back end of the meeting. We had a wonderful meeting. We had 3 speeches. One of them was a magical speech. We had many 7 topics and everybody participated well. Now can we have the voting for the best role player? This best role player award has been established application to everybody except the speakers and the evaluators. We have the general evaluator, Toastmaster of the day, Praveen, our counselor.
Of Toastmasters in person, Nagarpatra.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the atmosphere and it was conducted.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Rohit. This is my first session which I've been attending for the Toastmaster. Here I found that you can learn a lot of things if you precisely understand what you need to grab. So I found this is very much like filled with vibes and everything. But if I can take it into my, say, everyday activity, it will be perfect.
Hello everyone, I am Amal. I am from Toastmasters Amdocs, currently serving as president of this club. So it's a really nice meeting to be here for this meeting, and there are a lot of takeaways that we can take from this meeting and implement the same in our meeting as well. So it was a really nice meeting and wish you all the best for your next year. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening everyone. Myself Akshay Silla, currently serving as Vice President Education at Toastmaster Club of Amdocs. It was a great meeting. We enjoyed a lot and a lot of learning from this meeting. So I request everyone to please attend the meetings regularly and take the learnings from these meetings.
Thank you. You have a good loud voice. Yes? Yeah.
Good evening everyone. My name is Anshu Sharma. I am from Rajpur. I am studying in the National Institute of Construction Management and Research. I came to know about Toastmasters through internet and I was searching for communication skill classes.
So how did you like the meeting as such?
Excellent. Okay. We with the excellent communication.
Thank you. Content at the district level. If you see the slide, there was one guy mentioned, Dr. Girish. He has participated twice at the International Speech Contest. Then, just this year, we had two people who won the quadruple crown and the triple crown. Now, what are these crowns? Quadruple crown is given to a Toastmaster who completes 4 educational awards in a single year. And the triple crown similarly is given to that Toastmaster who completes 3 educational awards in a year. And the quadruple crown was given to Toastmaster Leo Paulos from our club. Please raise your hand. As you have seen the evaluators, we have 2 distinguished Toastmasters in our club. Distinguished Toastmaster is the highest level of recognition for a Toastmaster. They are BTM's Usha and please. In the last 6 months, we have submitted almost 14 educational awards. So the rate at which our members are completing or I should say they are reaching the milestones can be aptly said that Toastmasters Club of Pune South East, one does not chase the milestones, but milestones chase you. Next, I would like to invite the Division Governor Toastmaster Beena Mandrekar for her address.
President and all our dear Toastmasters and friends. As I came in late, I slunk in on the last but one seat and sat down quietly like some of the students do when they are late in class, hoping no one would notice me. Then I picked up the agenda and I saw my name written and my head went down further in shame. How could I be late? I had several excuses to give. This morning we had the live streaming. I had gotten up early. Just now I got caught in traffic. And then I had to feed a family, so I had to go back, feed them and then come. And I had several excuses on my fingertips. But then I knew that none of them would work in Toastmasters because I know that Toastmasters is a great leveler. And if you're late, you're punished. So I was put in the backbench till now I'm here to talk to you. So I'll make it very, very brief because we are running out of time. I have just this one quote by Oscar Wilde regarding the age. The young people, they want to be faithful, but they can't. The old people want to be faithless, but they can't. Thank you.
First, we'd like to congratulate Toastmasters We would like to felicitate the only chapter member who is present in this particular meeting, Toastmaster Ashwin. So, Toastmaster Ashwin, can you please come?
Rajesh, you heard these claps? No.
We want to felicitate the division governor, Toastmaster Veena Market.
It's an honor, honestly, it's an honor. Okay, Veena hugs you. Great.
Next, I would like to call upon PTM Bolan. We need to felicitate the 2 area governors from our club. We will be felicitating Toastmaster Leo Paulos as we selected the area governor for area. The other area governor from our class, Toastmaster Samantha. Come on, Samantha. Thank you.
Anand, with your permission, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Samit, if you can also join me. I know it sounds cliche to keep giving bouquets to each other, but ladies and gentlemen, it took a lot of effort to put this meeting together. And behind every success, there's a team, there's a leader. And it's a privilege and honor for me and Samit to honor the leader who made the 150th chapter meeting of the Toastmasters Club of Pune Southeast possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmaster Anand.
Next, I would like to distribute the ribbons for today's meeting. And starting with the best evaluator. Any guesses? It's DTM Usha. Best speaker, any guesses? Toastmaster Shivaditya. Best table topic speaker. Any guesses? Yes, it's Toastmaster. Sorry. And best role player. Manish. Toastmaster Manish. Just one final word, because I usually like to have last word. I'm a married man, of course. I don't get opportunity at home. It is last meeting of this club. I thought it was a meeting on FM radio, 149.5. I salute to whose ideas it was amazing. But instead of that, we could have 150 and 151st celebration also possible. Anyway, it's my minor observation. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to humorous speech and evaluation contest on the next Saturday. Those who wish to participate in that contest, only Toastmasters who are the members of the club can participate. They can give their evaluations to the contest chair. The contest chairs are as follows. For the humorous speech contest, the contest chair is Toastmaster Shakir. And for the evaluation contest, the contest chair is Toastmaster Shiva. So please give your nominations only to them and to nobody else. Next, I would like to ask the Sergeant at Arms, Deepika and Manish, to please distribute the chocolates.